Are you ready for story time?
Yeah.
Okay. So the first story is called Tomorrow. Yazin no longer went to the park, and he no longer saw his friend who lived next door. Everything around him was changing. Even his mother had changed. She had stopped painting, and Yazin and his mother used to spend hours painting together. Sometimes he had been happy just watching her paint. Now, the minute she woke up, she would watch the news with the volume turned up loud. So loud. Each time they wanted to leave the house, and Yazin's father would make lots of phone calls. And when Yazin asked why, he would say traffic. We're trying to avoid the traffic. Yazin felt really stuck. No park and no friends. And one day there was school and then no school the next. He even started to miss going to school, which was a surprise. That weekend the hours seemed so long with nothing to do. Yazin got out of bed and tried to keep himself busy. He drew a few doodles. He built a castle of pillows. He even made 142 paper planes. But he was still bored. Bored. He went to the living room and screamed, "I want to go to the park now!"
No!
But his parents were watching the news and didn't even turn around.
No!
"Not today, Yazin," said his mother. And Yazin grabbed his bicycle, which he hadn't touched for over a month. He stood by the front door and wondered whether to go to the park by himself. He took a long time, and he thought long and hard about it. And he knew his mother would be angry if he left without her permission. But he looked at his bike and was tempted by its shiny red paint and its new bell that made 4 different sounds. Ting-a-ling-a-ling-a-ling. He opened the door and walked outside. When he reached the street, it was completely empty. Everything was different. Abu Said, who sold tasty beans and coming from his trolley, was nowhere to be seen. Neither were the kids Yazin usually played with. Frightening sounds exploded all around, and Yazin didn't know what to do. Should he continue to the park or go back home? Suddenly, he saw his father striding towards him, and he took his hand, and they walked home together. And Yazin waited to be told off for leaving the house without permission, but his father didn't say a word. When they arrived home, Yazin's mother was waiting for him, and she ran to him and hugged him very tightly. "Don't ever go out of the house by yourself again," she said. She looked at Yazin and his little red bike, and then she grabbed her paintbrushes and paints and went to Yazin's room. "Yay, Mama is painting again," Yazin cried. His father smiled, but this time she'll be painting on the wall. Yazin sat and watched his mother painting on the wall of his bedroom. "I'm really sorry," she said, "but you can't go to the park right now. People are fighting in the streets. Going out of the house is too dangerous." "When will the fighting be over?" asked Yazin. "I don't know," replied his mother, "but let's paint a park in your bedroom, an amazing park with everything you would ever dream of. And soon, you'll be able to go outside again and play." Dear reader, have you ever been stuck in your house when you're desperate to go outside? Unfortunately for Yazin, like many children in Syria, this is the reality of war, forcing him to stay at home because the streets are too dangerous to play in. I wrote this story because I saw children like Yazin in my hometown of Damascus, and their lives were changing, and they couldn't understand why. And all of a sudden, the Fridays that were supposed to mark our weekends became frightening instead of fun, and families were afraid to go outside, and they stayed home. I noticed that my illustration style started changing, where once I was drawn to dreamy tones, and my palette became gloomy and dark. And I felt need to express what was happening around me, so I decided to write this book. Almost a decade later, the situation continues to worsen for Syrian children, especially those who are living away from their homes and who missed years of school. And today, we wait for a time when tomorrow can be a better day for all Syrian children. Wrote Nadine. You like that story? It was a bit, but it's just a reality, And we just got to keep in prayers for peace, love, and light all over the world, Noah. You ready to pray?
Yeah.
You want another book?
Yes.
Okay.